Yeah, yeah.
JP.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you a story. I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? I am fluxing on them now. I'm fluxing on them proud. I'm fluxing on them now. I'm fluxing on them proud. I'm in the Nimbus. Come check my status. What's my status? What the is going on? I'm in the Nimbus. Come check my status. What's my status? I'm flexing on them now. 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 I'm flexing on them proud. What the flex is this? We going to the moon. Can I tell you something? Layer 1, layer 2, this is humongous. Decentralized, so we keep it 100. 10,000 nodes, yeah, we building an army. Flex on them now like it don't mean that we an army and we strong. I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? What the flex is going on? But the flex we are so strong. We an army and we strong. And we strong.
We are live. Davy, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. And for the folks listening, yes, we know his ear set, his microphone is
Yeah, I don't have my microphone like I normally do. So I'm sorry, guys. You guys are going to roast me in chat and because it's echoey. But I'll get another mic, man. I'll get another mic, a portable mic to take with me. Davy, how the hell are you doing this morning, man?
Good. I don't want any hard questions today, by the way. I'm armed and ready.
Oh my God, he's got a brick.
I got a brick.
I don't get the whole brick thing. Why is everybody chucking bricks at each other? Is that
I don't know.
Maybe I was just sleeping and
I don't know. It just happened, and
Well,
Alex has been the biggest victim of it, unfortunately for him.
Well, maybe it'll go down in Flux history as like, we'll start a new trend, chucking a brick.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound very safe, but
no, it's very healthy.
So, welcome everybody to another AMA with Dan and Davy. If you haven't done so already, please like and share. Also, if anybody is sitting at home and they have idle time on their hands, if you can live tweet, that would be great. If we say something that's unbelievably exciting to you, which I'm sure we'll have something in there today for everyone, then take it to Twitter and get it trending. So everybody stop what you're doing and go like and share, get as many people in here as humanly possible. So we're going to do it a little bit different today. I have a couple of housekeeping items, and then we're going to get right into AMA questions. So this is like the first true AMA we've had in a while. So normally we have something that's popping at the beginning and then we go into the AMA at the end, but this time it's a little bit different. So special shout out to thank you to the Flux team. I don't always take the time publicly to tell everyone how amazing these guys and gals are, but special shout out to everything that they're doing on the development. We'll talk today about probably Jetpack 2, maybe some Project Thunder. With our marketing and PR team and everything that Betty and that crew is doing is absolutely amazing. Our business development team, Davy and Lucas and Adam and that whole team is just killing it. I mean, we genuinely are like over our heads, and it's a great feeling to have. It's a most people would be like, well, I'm in over my head. We're like, hell yes, let's get it, because it's means we're doing the right thing. Yeah, more. Yeah. So special thank you to all the team. You guys have been the glue that's really kind of held this whole thing together. I mean, I can't code, so you guys are legends in my eyes, always will be. And a special shout out to the community. We recently had Ergo go live for claiming, which was pretty amazing. We get to see some more infrastructure getting stood up. And we're seeing a lot of swaps back and forth between the different platforms. And we just got listed on the Ergo Dex, didn't we, Davey? I think so.
Spectrum, I believe it's called these
Spectrum,
days.
Yeah, Spectrum. So that's kind of cool. That's a good ad. We're really cool to see Spectrum floating around inside of Zelcore. So hint, hint. Anyway, it made it less than 5 minutes in, and we're already talking some shit. So anyway, let's without further ado, the people in focus on this AMA is our community. So you guys start posting your questions. Nothing's off limits. So you guys know me by now. I like hard questions. I like the ones that make me uncomfortable. So if you guys have something that you really wanted to know and you just want to fire the question out there, let's do it. So Davey, if you want to start grabbing a few here and there.
Sure. All right. Let's see.
Who doesn't love that intro song? That is going to be in my head all day today too. So what are you going to do?
Absolutely. Isn't that the plan?
Yeah.
All right. I saw that one pop in as I was doing things. So
can we get a better or more improved Zelcore Fiat on-ramp? Yes, we're working on that. We have partnered with Wire for a long time, and we've been using them. The ultimate goal was to get multiple Fiat on-ramps. The problem is a lot of these different, Fiat on-ramps, these projects that are building out and developing, they're iterating and growing just much as like we are as well. And then there's regulatory pieces that come into that as well. So we're constantly looking for new partners. I would see, you're definitely going to see a couple new ones come to Zelcore within the next, I don't know, let's say the next business quarter, so we're already in October. So like, I would say, let's say by the end of the year into Q1 of next year. So yes, we are working on that.
All right. And are we not working on something else too on the website?
Yeah, but you can't talk about that.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I can't talk about
it. Is it live yet?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Almost live.
Almost live, yes.
Oh, what the hell? We'll tell them. Go ahead.
No, we're just making it easier for folks to be able to purchase Flux in different ways.
So, I'll put it to you this way. So, okay, so he's gonna ho-hum around about it. We are in the process right now of working experimentally with Binance Connect to have direct onboarding directly off the website as well. So, you'd be able to purchase anything available in Binance with a couple easy clicks right directly from the website, and it'll push you directly to Zelcore, so you'll be able to use your Zelcore to receive your crypto when you buy it. So there's lots of creative stuff we're working on, and now we're working with Binance on this, and these guys, this is the first kind of like deployment they've done. We've done this before where we deploy stuff before it's mainstream and it's all beta, and you guys are the guinea pigs. So just remember that. You know what I mean? It is anything we release like that is always beta. So we people are learning every day. As a matter of fact, the Binance guys are learning about bridges this morning.
Now let's not go into that piece yet.
Yeah, let's. So anyway, it's iterative tech, and
absolutely,
and they're working on growing it just like we're working on developing it as well. So that'll be fun. I think you guys will like that.
All right, Alex has a question. Not our Alex, somebody else.
I asked a question on Twitter. Essentially, what is the marketing plan for WordPress? It appears like a fantastic opportunity to gain visibility and increased revenue. Absolutely, man. Like, absolutely. It is by far the biggest use case, because just of the sheer cost reduction of deploying on WordPress is absolutely astronomical. So where we're at with that right now is WordPress is running on Flux today. but we're in the process of finishing up our IPFS audit. So we want to audit the process before we deploy. So mostly internal audit. I think we're going to get a third party to take a look at the implementation as well, just to make sure that we're spot on. It's going to be a beta as we release it. I know you guys, I use beta a lot because really we're in disruptive technology. So every fucking thing we put out there is a beta at some point. You know what I mean? Like it just is. But we are working on focusing on marketing and PR around that development, specifically the WordPress implementation, because I mean, let's face it. How many websites run on WordPress, Davey? Do you have any estimate? I mean, it's
about 400 million.
400 million websites, and now you take deployment costs down to almost nothing, and you can deploy it on demand right through Flux. That's a big deal. So yeah, we'd be crazy not to have really want to focus in on that marketing and PR around that as we grow it and develop it out. So yes, the answer to your question is we're working hard on that.
Yep. A question from one of our miners, it seems. Are you considering dropping the Flux difficulty and attracting more miners? Unfortunately, it's not that easy.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, we have no. Okay, so I'm going to just say this: we have no intention of messing with anything on our algorithm or difficulty model or anything like that until we're ready for proof of use work, which will probably be into next year sometime. So the difficulty is there for a reason. If you didn't have a difficulty, you know, your asset wouldn't be a deflationary model, be an inflationary model, would just go up. There's many of them out there that adjust it, and the miners would just, you know, essentially just kind of take it over, and it would not be profitable. So the difficulty is a very important part of, you know, the algorithm that, you know, I mean, really makes the project go around with proof of work. So no, we would never adjust the difficulty or touch it. And by the way, we 7x, 8x, almost 9x at one point in time our hash rate after the ETH merge, and it held like a boss. So proof of work can scale appropriately if you've done it correctly. And I think we did it correctly when the merge came. We had 4 years to get ready for it. If we didn't have it ready, it was a problem, I guess. But the cool thing about it was watching it all work together and scale appropriately. So yeah, no plans on changing any of that.
Well, it would change the entire blockchain, right? So we would have to change block time and all that fun stuff. And
then it starts messing with your economic model,
exactly,
and your emissions curve and everything like that. It's like, yeah, we're not doing any of that. Flux is what Flux is today, and it's the reason for that. So we have no plans on changing that.
And to be fair, the difficulty level is sitting very stable at the moment. I'm actually looking at the website right now. It's been pretty stable for the last
it has
14 days. So it's
rock solid.
It's where it's sitting now. So you can kind of get used to it. But it's never going to go down where we used to be. That's just the reality of things.
Well, never say never, Davy.
Well,
you never know what you never know what the hell happens in this world. But again, we won't be the ones that are changing anything on it.
No, fair enough. All right.
Okay, next one.
Akhtar. I see Akhtar in the chat. I'm going to give him the floor because he's very active in our community. And he's curious.
Which are the two PAs for the next? Man, you're just trying to go right for the gullet, right? Just trying to get all the info. Well, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We want to focus on proof of work for the next couple parallel assets. I think we have enough proof of stake already kind of looped in. So you have Ethereum, you have Solana, you have, you know, Tron, you have all these other proof of stake projects. So proof of work is where our focus is going to be. Personally, I'd like to see there's a couple different projects if they all align right and we can make it happen. I can't really drop the names of them now, but I mean, a few of them that have came through was we have talked about, you know, possibly Bitcoin Cash, which is a quite interesting situation. Watching what I knew Bitcoin Cash as and what they have kind of matured into, could be something like that. There are other projects we're working with very closely that it wouldn't take time to figure out who they are and what they do, and do they have smart contracts deployed on their existing blockchain, and would Flux be able to live there? Well, I think you could probably answer those questions yourself if you looked hard enough. But the next snapshot is going to be in October, probably October the 31st is what we're thinking, Halloween. So double snapshot on Halloween. There's no official announcement for it. That's just me kind of spitballing. I have to talk to the guys and make sure that all works out correctly. But yeah, I think probably October 31st, we're going to do it. It's going to be a double snapshot. So then we'll have one left to go. So, I think we're going to be, we focused on Ergo this past time, which I'm so glad we did. It was a hell of a good ad. I hear a lot of people with a lot of positive things to say about their platform and their project. So yeah.
And it's a challenge too, the Ergo one. It was a good challenge as well. So.
And we still have, Cosmos and Polkadot and some other proof of stake based projects that we want to get back to as well. So, and the next logical question is, can there be more than 10 parallel assets? And the answer to that is
that's literally the next question that I have selected here.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% can be more than 10. As a matter of fact, I have a list of a total of 15 that I jotted down. And we're 8, 9 in, after the snapshot. So we've got room to grow.
But for the record, though, there won't be any drops though after 10, right?
Well, there may or may not be. So that's gonna be in the hands of the XDAO to figure out. So our goal is to get XDAO 2.0 out by the end of the year. So we're gonna enlist a lot more input from the community as we move forward. So the core team essentially recommended the first round of PAs, and then now we're gonna let the community kind of handle. Maybe give them the opportunity between, one or two that they want to pick from, and then, what we can support, because that's the other piece. We can't just add any flipping coin that you've got a bag for, right? You got to really work and figure out whether or not it's going to be valuable to the project, and can it be implemented? That's the other thing. So we have to look at it that way.
All right. Let's go. We're already 15 minutes in, and there's a ton of questions coming at us. So let's keep going.
Good. I like it.
So from the Netherlands.
This is UMS from the Netherlands. Can we expect bank sector adopts Flux for their infrastructure? The banking sector, probably not.
You say that. Well, you say that, Dan. I had banks at my meeting in France.
I know you did, right? But look, it's like this. I think they're going to be more reserved. There are other.
Yeah, no, they're reserved.
There are other tech stacks that are already adopting the kind of hybrid Web 2, Web 3 moniker that we've been pushing. And like the financial sector, they'll the standard tech stacks move a lot quicker, right? Like, well, you got blockchain, which is like 24/7, 365. It never ends, right? And then you have like your standard tech stacks that are always looking for cost reduction, improved stability, scalability. All these pieces that Flux has to offer. And you're seeing them start to dip their toes into that as well. And I think the financial sector will be a logical move. I actually foresee the healthcare sector starting to work with Flux more before anyone else, because the financial sector is a problem that they don't necessarily want a solution for. So they're going to kind of kick and scream the whole way as you're going. Like, you have to change this. You've got to change. We know as disruptive technology practitioners, right, that we're pushing them to change and iterate. Healthcare is the exact opposite. They're a major problem that's looking for a good solution. And I think Flux falls right into that. And if you haven't read the Paradigm white paper about our single user control of their EMR, much like you use Zelcore on your mobile device, right? If I can carry my electronic medical records on here, well, that'd be great. So I don't necessarily think it'll be the banking industry that goes first. I think it's going to be probably, standard tech stack, healthcare models, blockchain gaming. That's the other area where we're getting an unbelievable surge in folks that are looking for alternatives. I guess there was a new game that was launched the other day and all the servers were down and it was a hell of a mess, right? Well, you wouldn't have that problem if you're deploying your front end, back end on Flux, because we could just scale more infrastructure. Your servers are full, we'll give you another 100 servers. So, these are all things that that I think you'll see move really quickly. We're already having conversations with each one of those individually, those tech stacks, have been for the past several months.
All right. Shall we do another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
keep firing, man.
Right?
Let's fire them off.
I'm just going down the list. I haven't even touched the ones in Discord. I'm going to make sure we touch on those as well.
Could Goose or someone do a tutorial video on swapping Flux KDA to Flux? I'm very confused by the way that particular asset works. Well, they all pretty much work the same. So I know there's some videos on the labs that talks about swapping your assets inside of Fusion, but they're pretty straightforward. So really you open Fusion, you select the assets you want to move from, which would be the Flux KDA. The assets you want to move to, let's say hypothetically it's primary chain, and you do the swap. And the nice thing about the KDA is there's they have the gas station tie-in, so I don't necessarily know that you have to have KDA in your wallet. I will tell you that. But
and the tricky part with the KDA piece is, and that's where some people get a little flustered, is if you had KDA
chains.
or sorry,
the chains.
The chain thing is one of them. Is it can be confusing at chain 0, chain 1, up to, what is it, 17 or 18? They're crazy, the amount of chains they have. But also the piece of that not having your stuff in your K address, a K semicolon. There's a bit of a step for that. But if you have trouble with that, get on the community support channel. There's people there who will help you out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you can open a ticket. You can open a ticket too.
That too, but nobody will ever DM you. So if somebody DMs you, please don't engage in that. Don't do it. So keep it in the general chat or in the community support chat, but don't go DMing each other, because that's where bad things happen. I keep saying that because I see it on a weekly basis, unfortunately, that people get scammed. All right, next question.
Are there any plans to separate Flux and Zelcore? Currently, the network requires you to use Zelcore to host a node or claim PAs. Is this going to be changed in the future? Nodes require ZelID. Probably not. I mean, I think at some point you're going to see other products building on what we've already built. So there's been talks about actually having a Flux OS app so that you can do a lot of these similar things directly with the Flux app. That probably will go on the roadmap next year. It's going to look somewhat similar to what Flux OS looks like on the web version, but it'll just be more or less an app where you can, start your nodes, check your nodes, use your ZelID, so on and so forth. But look, we're very blessed to have such a developed out platform like Zelcore, which is, supported by, the team. These are things that we don't have to go recreate. We can just work on building out and iterating, Flux OS, Flux nodes, and things like that. If we have something that needs to be done, we take it to the Zelcore team and they end up doing it. And to clarify, the Zelcore team is us. So we're working together. So their roadmap is driven quite heavily by the needs that Flux has to move forward. We could never have gotten where we are right now without dividing and conquering, siloing up the teammates a little bit and have them focusing on particular items. And Zelcore has been amazing. And Tim Tully and the job that he's doing running the Zelcore platform it's fantastic. So I don't see any change in the foreseeable future. So, it is what it is. It's our wallet. It's not, it was really helped built by this community. So.
And I'll take it one step further. Actually, everything that Zelcore is using is in an API, and an API you can find and use. So if you want to do something yourself and you think there's an opportunity for improvement and you want to showcase it, use the APIs and have Header.
Tanner, I'm not speaking to you directly, but I'm speaking in general.
Yeah, I'm talking general here. Just.
Yeah, I find it amusing that people complain about, Zelcore kind of being our de facto platform for some of these things. and they complain about it. Well, if you don't like it, go fucking build something else, because you have the capability to do that. So, build, another version. Fusion APIs are all in place. You can put Fusion inside of it. You can do whatever you want. So don't complain about it. And again, Tanner, this isn't toward you. This is in general. Don't complain about it and then expect somebody else to go out and fix it, because that's not how we work around here. If you want it fixed, if you want to build a business model around it, then go do it, and we'll help you and we'll support you every step of the way. We don't view other platforms as competition. We view them as opportunities. So the more that Flux permeates every single project, we want to be in every single. I mean, frankly, I want to see someday every single parallel asset in every self-custody platform, on every exchange, on every, if you go to, let's say you use Binance or KuCoin and you want to withdraw USDT, well, there's 6 different, USDT on Tron, USDT on Solana, USDT on ETH, USDT on Binance Smart Chain. Flux will be the same way. You'll click the little drop-down arrow. I want to withdraw Flux ETH because when I'm a DeFi degen, and you can do that right then. So, again, no changes for the foreseeable future.
There you go. All right. Crypto Ghosty.
Oh, back up. Tanner says we don't have the capability though. Nodes require ZelID. We can't use another service. Well, no, you can't. But ZelID is an open source platform that you can integrate into it. So,
yeah, it's an API.
if we create, everything's API based. So if you created another platform, okay, so you got Zelcore over here, and now you've got whatever this is called over here, this new platform. It's all API integration. So you absolutely 110% can utilize signing. You got to build it, right? But you can utilize that platform inside of your platform, no doubt.
I saw, was it Bunny Analyst? By the way, that website.
Yeah, they're using everything right there. They used ZelID for authentication. You could make payments directly out of Zelcore. I mean, what Bunny Analyst did and built, what he built out. If you haven't checked it out, it's how we envision going forward that tie-in with websites. So people are using their self-sovereign ID to be tied in to a premium access page within Bunny Analyst. So if you haven't checked it out, big shout out to Bunny Analyst. That data's been fantastic. The community has really jumped behind that. I'll even take it a step further. I think you could see Bunny Analyst and those analytics somewhere in our platform where you can easily get to them. And I'm not going to say where, but you guys could guess where it's a creature comfort feature that's built into the platform, so that you can see price metrics and aggregated data. So you can see aggregated news data, you can aggregated price data, and aggregated data specifically around what's deployed on Flux, all in one nice little ecosystem. So I mean, that's been the key, was building up these data points. And now, with the most of everything on Flux and Zelcore, everywhere else API based, that's why this is so cool. We can do some of these things. Can we expect some more information on Thunder soon? Yeah, I think we're going to see it soon. I think quarter 4 was our target to start kind of roughing that out. I think that Thunder is probably hands down one of the bigger things coming down the pike. Well, persistent storage and IPFS released fully with persistent database across
There's
the board.
There's a ton of things coming.
Yeah, I mean, how do you categorize them? But Volter will be helping lead the challenge specifically around Project Thunder, and we already have the specs kind of roughed out in our minds of what it's going to look like. That 20 terabytes, that entry level, and then you're going to see it ratchet up 3 ladder positions from there. The more storage you give us, the more you get paid in Flux, which is nice. So, and it isn't going to mess with our block reward. So we're not messing with the underlying, everybody hear me out. Any of the changes that we make to this platform, our economic model stays the same. It's not fair to community members and investors and people that come into the community for us to mess with our economic policies. And by the way, we have one of the best ones out there, literally. when one of these major exchanges was looking to add Flux, they asked for our tokenomics, and I spent the better part of 15, 20 minutes talking to them, and they said, this is one of the best tokenomics we've seen out there in terms of, rewarding your community engagement and also development taken into consideration. And I'm like, yeah, because we're fucking awesome. That's why. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So anyway,
bombs are dropping on a Friday morning.
Project, I'm happy today, Davey. This is a good day.
This is a happy day. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, long story short, thunder is right around you could probably, if you listen real hard, you can hear it in the distance. It's starting to roll. So get your hard drives ready. There is going to be some criteria around that, but that first tier, that Cumulus tier that's going to be out there, that's going to be 20 terabytes. We do know that. I will say that. The other two, ratchet them up from there in terms of percentage, and you can kind of figure it out.
All right, let's get another question going. Stubble and Stout. That looks like a beer or something. Cerveza?
How did the AMA go with the I'll let you take this, Davey. You were there.
Oh. Yeah. So apologies for the audio. I see the audio wasn't working at the time. There was a bit of a struggle getting the live stream going. I was texting Dan during all of that at the same time, like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? So we were trying to get everything operational. We ran into some technical difficulties, and unfortunately, the stream was a bit of a waste. I know Monsieur TK, the Belgian French guy, was able to get it on his stream. I did see some of it, and yes, the audio was not the greatest, especially with the translator talking over it. Things got lost.
Well, you guys did a great job. I stayed on and kind of bared through it. I don't speak French, so it was.
I did most of mine in English.
Yeah, you and Alex basically, we're talking, but I thought it was a absolutely engaging conversation. You guys did a really good job with it. Yeah.
It was a fun concept. Talking on the couch just like that. I have to say the bright spots in your face is not as comfortable, but it was fun. But to go to the bottom of this, it was a very engaging conversation. The folks there who were not as familiar with blockchain got an introduction into blockchain thanks to Monsieur TK. They learned how Davidson is working with Web3, so that was good. They talked about their proof of concept on our platform, on your platform, the things that they liked, things that they don't like yet, things that they want to work with. So 2 things came out of this. The first thing is the partnership with the Davidson folks. That's just getting bigger. They're getting more and more engaged with us. They have input into some of the development. This is input from companies working with the product, so that's always good. And the second piece of it is a lot of networking was done. So we had the opportunity to talk with these folks, folks like Auchan, Decathlon, all the bigger companies in Europe. They were there. So we engaged with them, and some proof of concepts will come out of that too. So there will be the people deploying from those type of companies on the network. So I can only say thumbs up from me for a very productive evening that day. So.
Yeah, and we're really focusing, and what Davy and the group are focusing on is we're to the point where we have so many inquiries, we have to start sifting through what we can and can't work with. So, we want to get as many guides with Jetpack 2.0 coming out. We want to get people to be able to deploy without having to necessarily pull the team into it for business development. But I definitely think you could see more meetings like what Davy and the folks had with the French. There are many others that want to do the same thing, that they're starting to dip their toe in the water as well. And, I think keep an eye on what we're doing with Lumen. There's some interesting stuff coming from them as well. Again, we're not agnostic to, we don't believe Web 2 goes away. We believe Web 3 is can accent and help kind of, eventually it'll kind of go like this, and naturally people start to gravitate toward Flux because the price is right. The support is rock solid, big shout out to all of the support team.
Absolutely.
You know, Ryan is Link and that team, all those guys. I mean, I saw the statistics of what we did in the service desk this last month. Unbelievable. I mean, these guys are doing yeoman's work, man. Like they're kicking ass and taking names. So thank you guys for the support to the support team as well.
All right. Next question. I wasn't even
Dan, why is the latest FluxNode software update does not show the coin value anymore? Can you guys please add it back to the rewards page?
Well, we show no dollar value at this point, and I guess that's on purpose, right? We want to show the flux. You're making flux.
I mean, flux is kind of what we're gunning for. So we're trying to base everything in the flux model because that's the utility-based asset. Quite frankly, the other shit is there's so much regulatory uncertainty around different stuff tying to a promised percentage or $1 fiat value or something like that. It's just kind of frowned upon. So I mean, factually, we just want to clean things up and it protects the project, it protects everybody else. We want to be regulatory compliant across the board because there's no sense in fighting what's kind of already out there. So I mean, there's sort of loose guidance of what you can and can't do, and we're going to continue to keep doing what we're supposed to be doing. And mildly uncomfortable, but that's kind of how it has to be. So.
And there's some interesting websites out there. If you go on the Discord, there's some links floating around where you can see the same dashboard but with extra calculators and all that fun stuff. So hang out in the general chat and or ask in there and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Dude, I just show up in Discord and you'll learn a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, the guys that talk in there and gals that talk in there every day, they're constantly giving input to the project. Good, bad, or indifferent, but they're constantly engaged. So just show up and participate. Someone who's new to a snapshot, can you explain how it works for October? Let's assume I have my Flux and return to Zelcore wallet. Am I eligible for October? Also, what is the snapshot frequency? So yes, if you're holding it in Zelcore, you're good. Make sure you have all your parallel assets claimed because if they're unclaimed, they're not necessarily captured in that that snapshot. So you want to make sure you have your assets claimed and in your Zelcore wallet at the time of the snapshot, and then you'll qualify. How it works is essentially we take a picture of the entire blockchain and we appropriately distribute the parallel assets to the people that are participating in the ecosystem. So, this is a double snapshot, guys. Like, this is a big deal. So, like, I'm not, I think it's super important to start learning about, as we start to release the names of the PAs, start to understanding their ecosystems as well, because man, it didn't take like 10 seconds for people to start messing around with Ergo. Like literally as soon as it opened up, people were putting, talking about liquidity pools and they want to do, use the DEX and all this different stuff. So yeah, good opportunity. So you're crypto junkie. You're ahead of the game. You're here when you're supposed to be here. Really curious about the plans for GPU usage in the Flux nodes. What kind of workloads would we process? Any ballpark on payouts, percentage of Flux payouts that we could expect? So
proof of use work right there. What can we share about this already?
Well, I can tell you this: it's not any of the usage for proof of use work is not going to be from the block reward. So correct. All the rewards come from the marketplace. So we've created a product that people need, and now we have to price it appropriately and deploy it appropriately and be incentivized appropriately. So the individuals that are providing with proof of use of work will be incentivized above and beyond what the normal block reward is because their computational resources will be utilized. How does that work? Well, we don't know that yet. I mean, we have a rough idea,
well, we do know actually how it works, but
we do, but we're not going to say it. right. But the long story short is if your GPU is picked for useful work, or if you're participating in useful work, you're going to be incentivized at a higher rate than you would if you're just chain validation. So, you hear a lot of naysayers talking about, well, useful proof of work was, attempted before and it failed. Well, it failed because it looked directly at the utilization on the algo front, but we're looking at it even greater than that. We're looking at how you can continue to keep participating in the chain and not lose your spot in line, but be able to be pulled for useful work as well. So,
well, and not just purely look at pure miners. And no offense to all the miners, we're taking care of you. Don't worry, but we're also making it broader for everybody to be able to jump in, right? Not just
we want everybody. Miner. Yep. The Cirrus nodes are going to also be a part of that useful work model as well. So,
I got some ideas for that.
Yeah, I would say just keep an eye on it, and you guys will understand as it starts to develop out. But the crux of it all is the fact that we're going to incentivize people above and beyond the current block reward structure for the compute resources that they utilize from the marketplace.
All right.
I have a question, Flux. It's just like Solana blockchain or different? It is nothing like the Solana blockchain at all. Like not even like remotely close to. I can't even put the words together to articulate how much different they are. Good. I'm not a fan of proof of stake. I like the Solana folks. I like what they're doing. I like the project. There's a reason why we picked Solana ecosystem for a parallel asset. They could be decentralized if they would get their validator nodes out on Flux and start to build on. I mean, we can make any proof of stake project a bit more decentralized by deploying on Flux. But make no mistake, our even components of our project that may be a little centralized, we're constantly working to make that decentralized. Whereas this, Solana, Ethereum, and some of these others, they're not looking at that. They're going in the opposite direction, in my opinion. So, I mean, hell, Solana validators nodes all run on Lumen for the most part, as far as I know. So, that could be interesting for Flux someday. So we'll just leave it at that. But, we could make any proof of stake project a little more decentralized by deploying that node infrastructure, those validator nodes. Problem is when you're deploying those validator nodes, you lose control of them, and they don't like that. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see here.
Andrew McCarthy, yes, you will get credit for holding your PAs in Zelcore.
Yep, that doesn't change. That's Flux like any other. We'll take a snapshot of that.
What about implementing a decentralized app on Flux, which does the same job as Google Analytics, the owner of the website keeping the data for themselves? Google Analytics is, as far as I know, at least my experience with Google in the past has been all, it's all kind of driven by, compiling analytics from different sources. I don't think Flux will do it. I think a company, much like what Bunny Analysts has done, has started to build out that, that aggregated data model. So is the Flux team going to build it? No, we're not going to build it. But we believe that somebody is or will be building that analytical model and deploying it on Flux naturally. So this goes back to 2 years ago when we saw all these oracles being deployed by Chainlink and everyone else, and they're like, hey, we have a decentralized oracle. Well, it's not decentralized if you're running on AWS and you control it. That aggregated data it can be altered, right? So that's where Fetch came into place. Is we created the first aggregated pricing oracle on Flux, and that kind of set precedence for someone else to go out and build on top of that as well. So if you're listening and you have coding skills, build it out like Google Analytics, deploy it on Flux, and then you can get a grant for that as well. So that's pretty cool concept, actually.
I see Hobbyist Miner is online.
Shout out to Hobbyist Miner, buddy. Any solution for Zelcore or Flux for Snapshot and token needing Dust to redeem them in Fusion. Yes, we are talking right now with the Zelcore team specifically around a Dust option. And basically what that means is you pay a little bit more Flux, but then you don't have to require Dust. So we'll have it preloaded for you. So it would really just be a one-way mechanism. So there is a small fee for Flux. We would just increase it enough to cover the Dust, and you guys are rock solid. So how we're going to do that in a decentralized manner, I have no freaking idea. But they have some ideas that they're gonna share with us and start talking about. But yeah, I think that makes sense. I want to get away from. You look at Cadena, what they do with their gas station model. Essentially, you can use the platform for nothing because the gas station models allow you to have that kind of like that Dust or that asset to be able to interact with the chain. And I think you could see that directly out of Fusion, where it's utilizing the Dust is on the claiming side, not the claimer side, and basically they would just pay a little bit more Flux and would have to mess with it. And trust me, I'm a fan of that because there's nothing that pisses me off worse than when I go to move an asset or do something with it and I have no Dust, right? I'm like, oh my God. And I got to go in and anybody got any Dust and I gotta beg for it. So yeah, the sooner we can fix that, the happier Dan will be.
And to be fair, with the Ergo one, you got a little bit of Ergo when you did a claim on your.
Yes, that was the first experiment, and I think it went really well. I don't think people knew or saw that, but when you did your claiming, you got a little bit of Ergo Dust with that. So I think you could maybe even see that kind of style claiming.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question. That's a question I get asked a lot, and that was actually a question that came up in France as well.
Well, it makes no sense to an outsider because they're used to paying extortionary costs by third-party providers. 60% of Amazon's revenue comes from AWS. 60. I don't know the exact total. Davey, maybe you can Google it real quick and look it up. But it's billions and billions and billions of dollars that AWS drags down every year, and it's almost it's almost people utilize it because it's kind of the standard for cloud, but there are other cloud providers out there. How can Flux give up our service so cheap? It's very simplistic. We built the model around a Linux distribution model. So we wanted to make it all but free so that we continue to engage more people into the ecosystem. So the reason we can sell the compute resources so cheap is because the individuals who are providing the compute resources have already been paid. So Dan is running nodes. Those nodes have been paid for in the block reward. Now we have a service that we've created, compute resources. And we can give that back to the community, developers, projects, whatever, at a very affordable rate, the cheapest rate out there. And we can do that because we have already paid for it on the front side. So we keep the prices as low as humanly possible. There will be probably an adjustment within the next, I don't know, let's say, month or so as Jetpack 2.0 rolls out.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of it is this is the way it always should have been, right? Having a third party, a toll collector, a gatekeeper, third party service you have to utilize. I mean, deploy on Amazon, it's $90-some for a web server, right? And you get one deployment, one instance. Well, if you want to have redundancy, well, now you're talking 3 instances or so. You're talking a hell of a lot of money. Well, you can do the exact same thing on Flux for a few bucks per node, so or per deployment. So we can do that because we built our business model that way, and everything is baked in currently to that cost. So it really is forward thinking, and it does blow people away when they figure it out. Like the first time they deploy on it, like I just can't believe that I just deployed my entire infrastructure for like 1/8 of what I was paying, which is amazing. And there's a couple of big projects that are running on Flux now that have a lot of infrastructure. Hell, look at KDA. I mean, what they got? How many nodes they got? 1,000 nodes or something like that? That's a lot. So, or did they have less now? But you kind of get the picture.
All right. I'm going through the list here, and there's a ton of questions. And if I miss somebody, I'm sorry. The chat has been very active, so and I
Okay,
still have to go to.
will you
Discord.
increase the 40,000 flux ceiling on Titan? Not being a techie myself, I would like to stake more and would increase the amount of flux lock, which would benefit Flux overall. No intention to change that. Sorry. No. As a matter of fact, I think you're probably going to see it lowered at some point. Remember, Titan's still in beta. You know, we've got 100 plus nodes deployed, and it's still a beta product. You know, we've not made it through one cycle yet as to, you know, where we're going to end up with that. You're going to see keep from, you know, from saturating our cumulus, our stratus nodes. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to deploy it on Nimbus nodes as well. So, and then we're going to reduce the amount of maximum lockup. So I would say if you got in at, you know, 20,000, that's great. We'll keep building it out and ratcheting it up. But yeah, I don't think there's any plans to change that. And as a matter of fact, might actually go the opposite way.
I'm going to have to talk to Alex about this question because he should know, but I'll give him the floor.
Yes, they do. Yes, it does. Titan is all included in that.
All right. I see a couple folks asking for support questions. This is not why we're doing this, guys. We're not answering support questions in this.
Yeah, if you got a support question, hit it. I mean, I just talked about our fabulous help desk team. Hit them up.
Yeah, there's a platform for that. Okay, give me one sec here. All right, Fully Electric is asking a lot of questions in the chat, but I'm going to start switching over to the questions that are in the AMA channel in Discord as well.
Dan, the PA to Flux is 10% per parallel asset. No, it's not.
No.
As a matter of fact, it goes down every time we do a snapshot. It ratchets down. So I think, what was it last time? 6%?
Oh, I think he's meaning the reward per mining reward, basically. That is 10%.
Yeah. If you go over 10 PAs, will the percentage remain 10% over 100% after the PAs? We've talked about a couple different processes there. We're not intending on changing anything with those, but we do have to incentivize for parallel mining. So we'll have to figure out a way that we have some suggestions that we've started working on to make sure that we can do that as well. So much like what Davy was saying, as we add additional, I mean, you guys were here early and you guys had the opportunity to build out the infrastructure. So you really benefited from the full, you know, push of the parallel assets, the first 10 parallel assets. It'll be much subsequential PAs will be much less, and the mining rewards on those will be much less. So, you know, we don't know what that looks like yet, but we'll make sure when we're ready to hit the 11th asset, we have a plan in place. More than likely, XDAO will be the ones approving that anyway. All right, what else we got?
This is from Discord.
Where will FluxCon be held? So FluxCon is kind of interesting. I'm currently trying to recruit for an event planner. So if you know anybody that wants a side hustle for an event planner, we're looking at Miami in May. So right now we have commitments from at least 6 other projects that they want to come on board as well. So it's not, the name will probably change from FluxCon to something else, but Flux will be the ones that's pushing it. And I see a whole bunch of proof of work projects that really would like to be there. I also see labs projects that would like to attend as well. So I think you're going to see 2 days, and I think you're going to see some really kick-ass speakers. I think we're going to keep it unbelievably cheap. I mean, like, we just want to cover our cost for this event. We're not looking to make money like some of these big-ass conferences. You know, we want more people to attend. You know, for them to be able to attend, we need to keep it cheap. You know, I got picked to speak at this event in Miami, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a Web3 conference, but these tickets are like, you know, $2,000-$3,000 to get in the door. And yeah, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see how pricing people out, the normal people out, is going to help spread or evangelize, what we're doing in the blockchain space. So, with FluxCon or whatever it ends up being called, right? We're going to keep this shit cheap. I'm going to say like $30 or $40 a ticket. And we're going to fill up, we're going to put some masses in the seat. So that's the whole goal. Whether you're a miner or you're a hodler or you're just a crypto meme maker, or whatever, we want you to be able to show up and be able to participate. So,
and if you have a watch, it'll be free, right?
The watch, if you're rocking the Titan watch, you're walking in for free. Plus, you get access to the VIP. We are going to have a VIP section, mostly.
And I'll be allowed in. I bought myself a watch.
He bought a watch, so we tried
peer
to
pressure
keep him out, but he just jumped over it. So yeah, it's going to be. You'll be able to, if you walk up and you're rocking your watch, you're walking in and you get full access to everything. So that's kind of cool to see NFTs actually be utilized for something other than just grape ape pictures or whatever the hell the NFT world is doing.
All right.
So yeah, in May, Miami, looking for an event planner. If anyone knows anybody that's good, hit me up.
Another question from the Discord.
John Mine said Titan watch. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, you can go to our Medium and look at the Titan. We partnered with Sal and Baltimore to build the very first NFT watch. So there's an NFT of the watch and there's the actual physical watch itself. If you own the NFT and you own the watch, you own the watch, right? You can't counterfeit that. If you sell the watch, you're moving the NFT, that moves ownership to the next person that has it. And Sal is actually working on an entire plan specifically around that. That's going to end up deploying, how you'll be able to access it. So they have a whole watch series, like Flux was the very first one, the Titan one. There's a KDA one that's going to come out, a Bitcoin one that's going to come out. We call it the Heritage Watch, which I'm really super. I can't give you a ton of details around it, but it's built at a more affordable price for the Flux community overall and has some perks that comes with it as well. So this is a fun little project on the side. I'm a horologist. I love the study of time. I love watches. And, I was sitting around bored one night and I was like, texting the guys back and forth about, man, I really like to see NFT used for something other than, stupid ass pictures. And all of a sudden it just kind of dawned on me. So I reached out to Alan Sal, who is the owner of Sal Watches in Baltimore, and he built the very first prototype, and the rest is history. So in November, we're shipping out all the watches and all the NFTs to all the folks. And if you're one of the lucky 250 that ends up getting a device, you guys are walking into FluxCon for free. So it's kind of cool. All right. Let's do like 2 more questions and then we'll kill it.
Sounds good. This is a question from the Discord. What percentage of Flux nodes are currently running decentralized services to clients? Of the 15,000 nodes, how many are actually providing a service?
30% approximately.
Yeah.
And you can get this information in the Bunny Analyst application. He kind of locked that shit down. Like big shout out to Bunny Analyst.
And Vader is working on something too.
But Vader is working on some components on that too. And so I think we're going to give you guys wanted analytics. You're going to get lots of analytics. So around 30% have deployment on it right now. That doesn't sound like a lot. That is a shit ton. I mean, we're ready to scale to about 1.2 to 1.4 million deployed instances in the current happening that we have right now. If we move to another happening on the node side, you could easily see that, in excess of 2 million, 2.5, maybe even, closer to 3 million instances. Put that in perspective. If you look at the, State of the Union presentation, we talked about DigitalOcean. And if you just compare this to websites only, they're at like 100,000, deployment-ish, or I'm sorry, close to a million-ish. Wait a minute. No, DigitalOcean. Who was at 1 million? I can't remember. Somebody was at 1 million. Maybe it was Google. But anyway, long story short is, I mean, we could easily eat up all those deployments with the release of WordPress. So we've got to be thinking long term that it will come fast. You know what I mean? Like, what's the old adage? Overnight success is the hardest thing you've ever done, and that's exactly what has happened to Flux. We've had tons of work that has led to this point, and then all of a sudden, boom, here it goes. So we're already, if you look at Bunny Analyst, you can already see this parabolic trend start to move up on deployments. It even blows my mind. We've already surpassed our projected first year numbers. We're over 1,000 unique deployments, paid deployments. And that's a big deal. And I think we're going to continue to see, and keep in mind, if we adjusted our pricing structure, we would easily be, way above everyone else. But we want to keep everything cheap because they talk about income. How much Flux does the project bring in? So let's hypothetically say it's 2,500 Flux a month. Okay. We could easily make 50,000 Flux a month if we upped our prices and brought them close to standard, but we don't give a shit about that. We want to make sure that we're deploying and growing organically the network. And that's where we're at now. One more, Davey, and then we're done.
You want an easy one or a hard one?
No, you know me. I like hard ones.
Hang on. I'm scrolling back because I might have missed a couple questions. So, we answered some of the questions, guys. Have been answered before. Planning on rewarding node operators based on if they're doing it on their own hardware or on a VPS. We've answered that in many other AMAs. Yes.
Crypto Junkie, I do plan on playing poker later and donating.
Yes, we should actually, because Betty is pinging me left and right here. Make sure you.
If you haven't signed up yet, I think there's still room. You can go into our Discord and there's information on the Royal Flux, I believe it's called. Last count I heard was like 500 people are going to do this thing. Davey, I don't know if that's still the number, but
talking to the guys yesterday, it was 300 plus were already registered, but they're aiming for 500. So that
is insane. So big shout out to those guys for helping put this together. I love community events like this.
And then, are you participating?
I am, but
I'll probably do as well. I'm
going to donate my Flux because I said whoever knocked me out got an extra 100 Flux. So
all right,
put a bounty on my own head.
Any more questions, guys?
Anything else that we didn't address, and you guys you're pissing your pants with excitement to ask, come into our Discord. You can drop it in the AMA area, or you can just hit us up and we'll chat. When can we buy a branded Flux brick on the merch store? That's a Lisa thing, and I don't even know what the hell the brick thing is, but I'll buy one. Lisa, put it on there. I want a brick to chuck at something, so let's do it. You guys are all right. You guys are the best. Thank you to every single one of you. Join us on the Flux Poker, the Royal Flux. We'll see you there. We're also going to have another AMA next week. We have more questions that have been compiled, and there might even be some releases in there as well. So check them out. I'm looking forward to it. So Leaky Dan can't give everything away, but show up next week. So, and guys, have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy yourself, and thank you. And what the Flux? Play us out, baby.
See ya.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you a story. I'm on a Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the Flux is going on? I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the Flux is going on? I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the Flux is going on? I am fluxing on them now. I'm fluxing on them proud. I'm fluxing on them now. I'm fluxing on them proud. I'm in the Nimbus. Come check my status. What's my status? What the is going on? I'm in the Nimbus. Come check my status. What's my status? I'm fluxing on them now. 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 I'm fluxing on them proud. What the flux is this? We going to the moon. Can I tell you something? Layer 1, layer 2, this is humongous. Decentralized, so we keep it 100. 10,000 nodes, yeah, we building an army. Flex on them now like it don't mean nothing. We an army and we strong. I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. Come check my status. But the flux is going on. But the flux is going on. But the flux we are so strong. We an army and we strong.